All right. Welcome back. We're going to run down the Division Two state ranked wrestlers based off of Burrowfan and Bucksman for the EOWL.
Yep, I'll start at six. Three ranked wrestlers at 106. Garrett Lotzenheiser from Louisville. Burrow has him eight. Buxman has him five. Ethan Fletcher from Cantfield, a freshman as well. Burrow has him 12th. Buxman has him 10th. One of the things that we were kind of cognizant about when we started looking at D2 is, this can't be a Homer podcast where we just talk about our kids. We're proud of our wrestlers like every coach would be. And so, we'll probably stop and highlight some kids along the way. But Ethan's a kid that I want to talk about just from the standpoint that I've known him all of his life. I've known his family my whole life, literally his mom, his dad, his sister, his whole family, his grandparents. And, what I think is special about Ethan is that he's one of the kids that's going to do the work. He's going to do the work. So anybody in our sport that's going to do the work gives themselves a chance to be successful. Accomplished youth kid, accomplished middle school kid, and somebody that's going to do the work. I think that it's going to be 106 is going to be a good weight for us at the league tournament there. Moving on, the third ranked wrestler is Jason Mays from Jefferson, junior, fifth. Burrow has him fifth. Buxman has him 12. That rounds out the three wrestlers at 106 Division Two.
And I'll pick it up with 113. Christian Waite from West Branch, junior for West Branch. Buxman and Burrow both have him at second. He's a returning state placer. He took fifth last year at 106, I believe. And Christian's another kid. You talk about Ethan, you've known for obviously his whole life. Christian, I've known probably since he was in fourth or fifth grade. I've been around him and his family, and a good kid, good family, and he's a kid who's put the work in the off season. I've seen him up at Samurai and freestyle and those sorts of things, and it's already shown. He had a big match this weekend at Cambridge. He beat Cole McComas, which is avenging an earlier loss from the state semis last year where Cole beat him 4-3. The score was 8-1. It was a much closer match than that. I think it kind of came down to a scramble at the end. From what I heard, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I want to see it. Hopefully we can get a chance to see. I'd like to see that match. That's two high level kids going at it.
Right, and hopefully they're right now they're predicted to be in different weight classes, but hopefully at some point in the year they wrestle again because state semis was awesome, and I'm sure the match at Cambridge was so. That's Christian Waite. Also ranked for Burrowfan is Ryan Jakubek. He's a senior for Louisville. Buxman does not have him ranked. That rounds out 113.
120, Cole McComas right now. And obviously the landscape at 6 through really 26 kind of depends on what the Decators are going to do. You know what I mean? Are they going to stay at 26 and 6? Are they going to move? I think, Cole McComas, had an incredible postseason last year, really peaked at the right time. Know him, know his older brother, from 2011. Just a wrestling family that we've seen the McComas name for a long time. Hardworking people, great staff down there, and just really had him ready and peaking at the right time. I think we're going to see some movement there, maybe even with Christian and Cole, maybe moving up, moving down, depending upon tournaments, different parts of the year, and then at the end of the year, everyone's going to have to make some decisions. Cole's ranked 1 with Burrowfan and 4th through Buxman.
And that goes into 126. Cole's teammate, Skylar Leisure. Buxman has him 6th. Burrowfan also has him 6th. He's a returning state placer, 7th at state. We talked about Gus Sutton in an earlier video. He split matches with Gus last year at league. Phenomenal wrestler. Just had a huge tournament at Cambridge. He won Cambridge. He beat Addison Fogel in the finals, who's a returning state placer, 5th, and then he beat Dalton Bircher, who's a returning state qualifier. So look for him to continue to roll there. And then also ranked from Louisville, another Louisville kid here, Davin Rhodes. He's a freshman. And Burrowfan has him 6th. Buxman has him 13th, and that rounds out 126.
32, Burrow and Buxman have Josh Bate 8th from Jefferson, a senior. We've seen the Bates running around for a while.
There's been quite a few.
It's interesting when you start talking about kids, especially kids in the area. You see the names, and they've been around. Certainly, McComas is one of them, and Bate is another. I like what they do up at Jefferson. I know they're kind of far away from us. We don't get to see them as much. But a ton of respect for Tom and what they do up there. Their kids just aren't, they're not afraid of anybody. They wrestle hard.
Hard-nosed kids.
They are hard-nosed kids for sure. Carter Mickley from Louisville, also a sophomore from Louisville, Burrow has him 14th at 132. Then we jump a little bit.
We do jump.
No 38,
no 38, no 45 at D2 right now. Not that those guys can't get there, but
there'll be some shuffling, I'm sure.
Brings us to 152, and Jax Leonard, Louisville sophomore. He is a returning state qualifier. He went 2-2 at state last year at D1 state. As we mentioned, Louisville dropped down from D1 to D2. He's
he went
fifth.
2-2?
He went 2-2.
Wasn't that place?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he won one.
You're usually not wrong with that. You're good with that stuff usually.
I
remember
I
the
make
Leonard.
mistakes.
I remember the Leonard kids, and I'll tell you what. If anyone learns anything from the podcast, is be excited about Louisville being in the league, but don't sleep on them because they're very, very good.
Absolutely, and Jax is a perfect example. Come in as a freshman, whether he went 1-2 or 2-2, regardless, as a freshman to make D1 state is pretty impressive. So they both have him 5th. Bo Smith from Beaver Local, Buxman has him 6th, Burrow fan 9th. Dylan Miller, both of them have him 7th. Both of those kids are returning qualifiers, I believe. Definitely
different
Dylan
times.
Miller's.
Yeah, sure. You're right. At 60, Anthony Delisio, Burrow has him 3rd, and Buxman has him 5th. Weight is an issue there. Not sure if he's going to be at 60. He's going to be at 70, 52. I don't know what Coach Pitts has in store there. But he was 4th last year. And then Jamil Bannister, who's a junior, Burrow doesn't have him ranked, but Buxman has him 13th. I remember him from league last year being a super athletic kid and a thrower.
Yeah.
And boy, we learned the hard way on that one.
Yeah.
Ben did a great job wrestling back and hanging on, but I think we won a 13-12 match.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
He tossed us a couple times.
That's who I think Anthony Delisio beat in his go-to last year. So he's right there last year. So certainly he'll be in the mix.
Dangerous kid too because he can throw.
Right. And brings us to 170. Nick Crawford. Buxman has him 7th at 170. Burrow fan has him 12th all the way up 195. So again, beginning of the season, it's
those guys are football guys. We're not sure weight wise where they're going to be. I haven't even been assessed yet. So
right. Yeah. So he's but regardless, he's going to be in the mix wherever he is.
Yeah. You want to start 82?
I could pick it up.
Go ahead.
182.
Pretty good 82 pounders there, huh?
Pretty decently. So we start off with David Crawford, returning state champ for Canfield. Both Buxman and Burrow fan had him ranked 1st. What can you say about David? He's a coach's dream. You were his coach for how many years?
Yeah.
Hard worker, does everything you ask of him. Leader.
Yep.
Phenomenal student.
Yep.
Great kid.
Gentleman, leader in the building. Yeah, I mean, he makes coaches. He's made us look good.
Right, for sure.
He's made us look good.
He committed to Pitt, so he'll be going to Pitt next year. We're excited for him.
Excited that he's only going to be an hour away.
Absolutely.
You got Giorgio and Mason in one direction, in Cleveland. You got David in the other. For selfish reasons, I'm excited those guys are staying close to home.
So that's David.
Yep, I'll go next here. Deuce Johnson, Alliance senior. Buxman has him 3rd, Burrow 2nd. Phenomenal running back. Unfortunately, had the unfortunate pleasure of watching and playing against him the last 4 years when I've been helping out with the football staff, and he's just a guy you got a game plan for, but just as dangerous on the wrestling mat. Special athlete, always respectful and hardworking. Coach Shaw does a tremendous job at Alliance.
I think those two wrestled last year, didn't they?
They might have wrestled when we moved their lineup around a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure it was a 3-2 match, 2-1 match. I mean, those guys are just high-level kids. Yeah. So we'll see how
two
those
tough
weights.
kids to score on.
Oh yeah, that might be a fun match for us at the end of the year to see. And then you got sectionals, district, and a state tournament. So yeah, Brett Paulus 8th by Buxman, 9th Burrow fan, sophomore from Louisville. Kenny Morrow, West Branch freshman, 13th Burrow. And then Clayton Smock, is that how I say that, Smock? Am I saying that right?
I think
so. His senior from Jefferson. Burrow has him 15th. 95?
195, we have one ranked wrestler. That is Marcus Davis from Alliance. He's a senior. Buxman has him 10th. Burrow fan does not have him ranked. He's one of those kids that's kind of been around forever and always had a lot of success. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he's looking to close out his senior year here with getting on the podium.
Yeah, I agree. 220s, they're really loaded. You got Brandon Matlock dropping down, senior from Warren Howland, Burrow 2, Buxman 3, T. Stein, one of our guys, a junior, 4th Burrow, 4th Buxman. Just another real special kid. We're real fortunate to have guys like that in the room. Siobhan Young, a senior from Alliance, 13 Buxman, 14th Burrow from Alliance.
Yeah, and brings us out to heavyweight. Start with Jack Del Garbino. What can you say? A hammer. I mean, the kid, you've seen him from his freshman year to now his junior year, and I don't know if you've got a chance to see him this year, but
not this year.
His body has just changed. He's going to be a load for sure. He's ranked first in Burrow fan and Buxman, and I would tend to agree with them. I saw him wrestle up at Solon, and he had a pretty sweet arm throw in the finals to pin the kid. So, there's
good in all positions.
Good in all positions. Obviously, some family history there of success with his dad being a state champ.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 3 Del Garbinos this year on the team. There was 2, but I think there's another one.
Oh, you're right. The
year.
lightweight, though. He was a 15-pounder. You're right.
It's kind of a family
setting
affair.
the bar high too.
Yeah. So big things from him. Alex Leisure from Alliance, 4th for both guys, Buxman and Burrow, and then Alan Christine from Conneaut, 16th for Buxman and 8th for Burrow fan, and that rounds out our Division II state rankings for the EOWL.
Well, D3 coming up next. Thank you.
Thanks.